live? I think we're live. We're not sure. Not yet. We're not live yet. To start with, but I think we're live now. Cool. So welcome to our fourth Facebook Live. Thanks everyone for coming along again. So we've got a lot of us crammed in the picture here today, and that's largely because our special guest is Lauren. And so Lauren owns the cafe, Lady Dinah's Cat Cafe, Lady Dinah's Emporium in Shoreditch, which is a cat cafe. And Baked In is full of cat lovers, myself being the biggest one, so there was absolutely no way I wasn't going to be on this one with someone who owns a cat cafe. Patrick is backed by popular demand. We had a few people saying, like, where was Patrick last week? Oh. It was mainly our family. It was just our family. So Patrick's back from his holidays, and we've got Gemma as well. Gemma is a massive cat lover as well.
I am indeed.
Gemma has actually visited the cat cafe
twice.
And told us lots of stories about it.
Super fan.
I didn't know it's twice.
Oh yeah, I've been twice. I went to the cat yoga as well.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long time
I know,
ago.
it was a while ago.
She knows everything
That was
about
great.
you. She knows everything.
So yeah, so we're really, really glad to have Lauren here. So Lauren's got a little bit of, well, we're going to teach Lauren the Baking Club recipe, which is an awesome one this month. Gemma's going to do that. And then we've got a bit of fun and games to have in the second half with some crazy kind of mind-reading skills that Lauren's bringing to the party. That we'll see how that goes. So yeah, first thing, before we announce the bake of the month, we told you last month that tonight we're going to be launching it's our first kind of major product launch for a while, actually, and it's our mug baking subscription. And we've had people asking for this for years. The Baking Club has obviously been out since 2015, so we've got 50 recipes behind our belt. And mug baking is our thing. It's super popular. It's our best sellers in the shops. And finally, we've got to the point where we're ready to launch a mug baking club. And it's going to work exactly the same way as the Baking Club. So you've got until the first of the month to order for the next month, and then we'll cut off, we'll make everyone's boxes, and we'll ship them out on around about the middle of the month. It might be the same day as the Baking Club, it might be slightly different depending on Royal Mail. But this is going to be, I can't show you what's inside because we're keeping it a secret, and that's it. It's going to work exactly like the Baking Club, and it will be a secret until it lands on everyone's doorsteps, and we'll announce it on the Facebook Live. So you'll see the first one on the August Facebook Live. But you can now sign up. It's available on the website. If you go to the top in the heading, there's a Mug Baking Club page. It's £6 a month, including delivery, so it's really cost effective. You can get that down to £5 a month if you buy a 12-month subscription. So it's £6 a month or £17 for 3 months, £32 for 6 or £60 for 12 months. There will be gift subscriptions available. They won't be available until the middle of August because with gift subscriptions, we'll send out the first box with a certificate. So if you're looking to buy them for gifts, wait until the middle of August. They'll have a recipe in it. So you have the recipe just like the Baking Club, so you can make them again and again. You have the base kind of mix, and then there'll also be toppers as well, or things to kind of go inside. I won't give away too much about what they're going to be like. The first month one is awesome. It's one of my favourite from the ones that's been developed. So you always get 2 different portions and the recipe as well. We're really excited about it. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully you guys on the live are interested as well. And we do have a special offer. We said we have a special offer. Again, it's going to be the best offer we're going to run at launch, and it's only valid until tomorrow evening, so Wednesday the 17th at midnight. And the code is MUGLIVE, all one word, MUGLIVE, and they'll get you your first box for £1. So you can try it for £1. If it's not for you, you can cancel as long as you cancel by the first of the month, exactly the same as the Baking Club. There's not much you can buy for £1 these days. It's 2 portions of mug mixes and your recipe. Give it a go. So Mug Live, valid until midnight on Wednesday the 17th of July, in case you're not watching this live. So that's the Mug Baking Club. Again, we'll talk a bit more about that later. We've also got the normal Baking Club offer for Facebook Live, which is Facebook 299. Facebook Live 299, and that gets you your first Baking Club box. So that's the baking from scratch boxes, gets you your first box for £2.99. So, anything else I need to talk about? I think me and so we got the competition. So we got the competition prize, and this is one when we have the quiz. So we've got a very special cat-themed quiz for Lauren in the middle, and Lauren's going to answer our obscure questions about cats. And the winner wins an amazing prize that Lauren and Baked In have put together. So from Baked In's point of view, it's 36 of our portions of mug mix in these little counter display units are really useful to have in the cupboard, or as little gifts for teachers, things like that. And then Lauren has very kindly donated a voucher for 2 for tea in the cafe, I think. Is that right?
Yeah,
so
voucher's valid 1 year from the day that we send it out.
fantastic. So that's an amazing prize. It's in Shoreditch, not far from Bethnal Green, I think, the cafe. And you know, we'll talk about that as we go on and a bit more about that. But it's over £80 the prize is worth, so it's an amazing prize. Plus, there'll be some more mug mixes depending on how many questions that Lauren gets right. So no pressure.
Is that tied to moving? Oh.
A little bit. They'll win all of that, and then we kind of rack up points for the ones you get right. But you know your subject matter. Like Nick,
It's a pressure game.
we had Nick from Snaffling Pig last week, and they make pork scratchings, and it turns out Nick doesn't know very much about pigs. Just, well, I assumed. Patrick's normally responsible for making these quizzes, and Patrick was on holiday, so I had to make the quiz, and he did all right in the end.
He didn't
but
do too badly,
that's
did he?
because he looked at the answer sheet, which I'd accidentally put in front of myself. So
Cheater.
anyway, we're going to have a cat-themed quiz, which is really exciting.
Talk about the drinks.
We've got the
as
drink,
well.
so we
Yeah.
always ask our guests to tell them their favourite drink. So Lauren's is an elderflower pressé. So we've got some delicious elderflower pressé, which makes a change. It means we're not all getting drunk on Facebook Live, which is probably good for all of us, definitely for Patrick. So without any kind of further ado, we're going to announce the Baking Club, and then me and Patrick are going to get out of the way and let Lauren and Gemma demo the Baking Club.
Big reveal
So,
time.
big reveal time. This one we've been really excited about. We love all our Baking Club recipes, but every now and then there's one that we know that's coming up, and we absolutely love it because we've had to taste them loads of time in the office. This one, for me, is like probably one of our biggest showstoppers that we've done for a while. I know some of you on the live will have all got your boxes. Some of you will have made them as well. So tell us if you've made your box. Post a comment and tell us if you've made yours already. But yeah, we're really, really excited about this one. It's absolutely delicious. It's nice and summery. And so this month is, we keep saying we should have party poppers and streamers. Next month we're going to do that. It's a chocolate and raspberry cake. So it's a layer cake with raspberry icing, chocolate on the top, and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm going to get out of the way now, and Patrick's going to get out of the way, and we're going to let Gemma and
Gonna
Lauren
bake it.
take you guys through the recipe.
Cool. Right. So first things first, let's just open the recipe card. So this one is it's a very light and airy sponge, so it's a strange one really because it only relies on whisking to give it the air that it needs to rise. So it's quite important to whisk it quite a lot at this stage. So we do say 10 to 15 minutes, but we're going to skip that for the first bit. So the eggs need to go in. So I've got 5 eggs in there, and then your bag 1 will go in, which is caster sugar. So that's going to go in as well. I'll just take that out of the way. And you've got to mind the cats. I don't think we've actually explained why there's loads of cats just pinned about here, but we just, this is just baked in for you. We've got, plenty of cats everywhere.
He has a name, doesn't he? What was his name? He was given a name.
The graduates.
The graduate. This is the graduate. He's nervous about his future.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so we just tip it in, that's fine. And then we're going to just whisk it till your heart's content, really. It's going to be, it needs quite a lot of whisking, but don't worry too much about it because...
I'm a child of the 80s, there's that, you were telling me to whisk it, and in my head, it silently said, whisk it real good.
Whisk it real good. Oh, yeah. There's so many, songs that relate to baking, it's great. We actually did have a baking music playlist, didn't we, at one point? That was really good on Spotify. But yeah, we basically want to get as much air in this as possible, and the idea is that it's going to sort of quadruple in volume.
Okay.
So it really does take quite a lot, but it's it's one of those things. It's a good workout.
Yeah, I can feel it in my arms. This is good. It's
And
all helping me out.
if you're not really up for doing it, like that, you can also use electric whisk as well. But it is possible to do it by hand. So everything is possible to do with just a hand whisk. But it does make it a lot quicker if you have electric whisk, So just to save you too much stress, I have made another one, but this is kind of just to show you the before and after. So once you've done it for about 10-15 minutes, that's kind of how we want it to look. So maybe we can get our second camera over here. This has basically about, quadrupled, I'd say, in volume. So that's basically that, but with lots of Lots of whisking. So we'll give this one a bit of a whisk, and if you just start whisking that one up a little bit again because it's been sat for 5 minutes or so.
Just make it look like it was me.
So yeah, that's what you want it to look like.
Does anyone enjoy whisking? Like some people like.
I like it.
Doing it. Like some people do it by hand. Some people I know time stands still when I whisk. I use a stand mixer.
See what you guys think. Let us know. What do you like to do? And then, right, so this is the next step. We're going to pop in bag 2. So essentially now, this is quite, I'll take the whisk away because what we need is a spatula. So you're going to just tip that into there,
Cool.
just sort of like evenly over the top. And
Do a sprinkle.
yeah, because what we want to do is essentially we're going to fold it all together. So this bit can be a little bit tricky as well, just because if you haven't, used a sponge like this before, you might be a little bit like, what am I doing? But essentially folding, I don't know if you know, is kind of like, folding the mixture on top of each other, like very, very gently, because you don't want to lose too much air. You're going to lose a little bit because it's not possible to like basically keep it that way. But you want to try and be like quite gentle with it and just like eventually just keep folding it. And I sometimes do like a figure 8 motion as well. Okay. Like when I do that, it helps a little bit. But as you can see, there's lots of like little pockets of the mixture.
Yes.
And that will keep happening for a while. You'll be surprised. Like I've done it for a few minutes and then been like, oh, there's like another pocket in there. Yeah. So it's quite interesting to see this maybe like over the camera as well.
I think I'm not a whisker. I don't have a great love for whisking. But this particular thing, one of my memories from when I was a kid was my mum used to bake cakes quite a lot. So she was a sort of a cook. I don't know, there's various levels of term for people who bake. I'm not sure which one she was, but she would bake at home and then take all the cakes into a local cafe. And she used to make, I think, a genoise.
Oh, a genoise. I call it genoise, but I don't know. I usually say things wrong, so I don't like to put my foot out there.
Question for the audience, is it genoise or genoise?
On Bake Off, they say genoise, and I always thought it was a French word, like genoise.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know.
This is actually a little bit based on a genoise sponge because, I mean, it's a little bit... We started this recipe and we thought, oh, we're going to try and make like a chocolate gâteau. And in the end, we ended up with this cake, which is, a little bit more of like a chocolate raspberry mixture. But the cakes itself, I think, are still a little bit like a gâteau, a little bit like a genoise sponge. So it's a very similar technique to the genoise, actually, which is essentially they don't use raising ingredients, and the eggs are whipped with the sugar first, like we have done, and you fold the dry ingredients in very quickly. And then you add what we're going to do in a minute, which is the melted butter, which I've got this here.
I'm still getting some secret
caches
of cocoa.
Yeah, you can be a little bit more like
maybe I'm being
vigorous.
too gentle.
I mean, it's good to be like that, but also, you'll start to realise like towards the end, I'm starting to like go, just go on, get it all in.
I'm a patient cook. I'm a busy lady.
No, I know. I'm actually quite impatient when I cook sometimes. I'm quite like just a winger. Like I think I get that from my mum a little bit. She just like wings about in the kitchen. Like she doesn't actually like weigh anything. I'm not as bad as that. I weigh everything. But my mum is terrible with recipes. She just gets so impatient. I think she's watching tonight as well, so hi Mum.
Slacked off your cooking.
You're a mad woman.
She knows she's like that, it's fine.
I feel like when I do a recipe, I will measure it the first time, and then I will get increasingly lax and consequent, doing it another time, I'll be like,
I find it's a real difference between like savoury bakers and savoury cooks and like sweet people who make like sweet treats and stuff, because like I find when you bake you have to be quite like precise and methodical. That's true. With cooking you can be a lot more like wang it in and judge it by eye and stuff, and it definitely is. So
well, it's kind of
you wanging your mum wings, which one?
You always say that anyway, so I don't know why you're laughing. Anyway, so now I've just added the melted butter.
Cool.
So you just literally pour it straight into the top.
Do I need to continue to?
And just now you're going to keep continuing to fold it in.
Question. Of course you have to mix the buttering. You're not just going to leave it like a puddle in the middle.
It's fine. It's not a silly question. I just sort of did it and didn't tell you what I was doing. I was just like, there we go.
It was my expert folding. You were like, she's got this. She doesn't even need to be
relaxing. So this is great. So we're nearly there.
Cool.
We're just going to make sure that all those kind of little pools of butter that you can see is just sort of nicely folded in. It takes a little while, but we'll get there. And I've prepared the tins earlier, so they're just going to be split between 3 tins. And we've preheated the oven already, so it's all ready to go. But yeah, I think that looks pretty much how I would expect it to look. As you can see, the mixture's got a lot like darker, and that's because all the flour and the cocoa is like evenly mixed in now. So before it looked quite like a light brown, and that's kind of how I know it's done, is that it looks like a rich chocolatey brown now. So how I usually do it, you can do it however you like, but I sort of just pour it. I free pour it in until I can sort of see. It doesn't have to be completely accurate. Some people might want to weigh it, but I find, yeah, that's perfect. And then I sort of just do the same on the other ones. And it sort of all, because it's quite like a nice soft mixture, it all kind of just like evens out. But don't worry too much. We've got some sponges ready to come out in a minute.
Of course,
so
I can make a mess of it. It's fine. It's all fine.
Because we don't want to wait to have them to bake. No.
No, look at all that butter.
It's fine.
What mess.
It's not too bad.
Oh dear.
It's not too bad.
Well, it's going to have like a lava effect. Maybe.
Yeah. No, this is the thing, because that is actually, this is why I wanted to try and speed things up a little bit today, because it can take a while to fold everything together.
You can leave it and bake another one if you've only got 2 tins.
Yeah, if you've only got 2 tins, there's no problem, because it only take about 15 to 20 minutes to bake. So just leaving some in the bowl and then waiting for the other tin to come out would be absolutely fine if you've only got 2 tins.
Cool.
There we go. Let's just pop it in the oven. So, I'll if you wouldn't mind opening the oven for me, I'll pop it in there. Cool. So that's going to take 15 to 20 minutes on 160. And yeah, this is what we've got next. So, ta-da! This is what you'll have. They will. I'm sure they will. Right. So. Next step, well, we've got our sponges ready, but now we need to make the chocolate ganache. So we've got our little hob here, and what we're going to do is I think actually it says the raspberry first, but it doesn't matter too much. You can do the chocolate ganache and the raspberry at sort of the same time. It is the next step, but right. So I do have something somewhere.
What are you looking for?
I had a little bowl of butter somewhere. Oh, there it is, sorry. Loads of cupboards down there, secret cupboards. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get a little pan, something that will fit a bowl above it but doesn't touch the water. And we're going to put it on a light simmer. Let's get that on there. So you just want the water just to simmer a little bit. You can put this over straight away if you like. And the chocolate's just going to go in. I don't know if you want to do it.
Oh, do you have to wait for the butter to melt first, or just go for it?
It can pretty much all go in at the same time, because it's just going to really slowly sort of melt together. I'll get you a wooden spoon.
Ganache doesn't feel like it should be a word, does it? It feels like you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, it feels like it should be said more fancy.
It feels like you're doing someone's laughing in place saying ganache.
Maybe
I
it's
love
all in the
ganache.
accent.
Yeah.
Ganache is great.
So
It feels like
we'll leave it for a minute.
I don't know, but then it's just nash. That doesn't sound like enough.
Cool, so we're melting that.
Yeah, it's all going to melt down. And it does take a few minutes, so
You want to make sure the bowl doesn't touch the water, right?
yeah,
When you're doing that?
when the water's simmering away, it's really important that the water doesn't like bubble up underneath and touch the glass, because it would just affect the temperature of the chocolate. And that's the reason why you put it over like this, because chocolate has like a certain melting point, and you don't want it to be too hot, because it can really affect the taste of the chocolate. But once this starts to melt, you'll see.
Well, that's melting. It's a question that we probably should have asked the audience right at the beginning, and it's pretty fundamental to what's going on today, but cats or dogs? So, let us know on Facebook. We all decided
We love all
before
animals.
this, apart from Patrick, we all thought that our fan base would be more cats than dogs. But tell us, just cats or dogs, and then we'll know for sure.
It could be an interesting
I'm
concept.
definitely cats, 100% cats. Gemma is cats. Lauren is definitely cats. Anna is.
Controversial.
We've got one of our Annas is dogs, and I think the other is cats. And Jana is probably lizards. Jana is neither. Jana is lizards. So yeah, let us know, cats or dogs.
Or lizards.
All
lizards.
animals.
But really cats or dogs.
But cats.
So, yeah.
Cats are definitely the one.
Yeah. So that's going to take a little bit longer to melt, isn't it? So we're going to need.
We could just bring the one we've made earlier.
We've got one we made earlier. But basically, you're going to melt that down, and then that all turns. And then once you've melted it, how long do you cook it for, Gemma?
Sorry?
How long do you cook it for once it's melted?
Essentially, once it's become melted, you take it off the hob straight away.
Straight away.
So
okay.
yeah, once it looks like pretty much like this. I don't know if you want to show somebody.
Let's get the camera on.
Once it
There we
looks
go.
like that, it
very
will
glossy.
Yeah, eventually it will just it happens quite quickly, because once it starts to go, it all just goes like straight away. It becomes really nice and glossy and melted. So yeah, we might
Let's keep that going, and let's crack on with the next step, and I'll jump in and deal with that if it starts melting.
I'm going to just take it off because I need the hob for the next thing. So we'll just come back to this another time.
Sure.
But we can grab the hob for the next thing, which is the raspberry syrup. So we're making a raspberry syrup essentially just to make the buttercream a raspberry buttercream.
Cool.
So just a little bit of the raspberry syrup goes into the buttercream to make it go nice and pink as well. And the reason I wanted to use raspberries was because the season that we're in at the moment, it's definitely, they're all in season at the moment, so they're freshest like right now, which is lovely. So we can use them, and they're lovely flavour with the chocolate as well. I don't know if everyone else finds that, but I absolutely love raspberry and chocolate together. It's my favourite fruit to go with chocolate. Anyone else have any favourite fruity chocolatey combinations?
Strawberries and chocolate is quite
yeah, that's a really good
consistent one.
Yeah, let us know on the comments. Let us know what's your favourite chocolate and fruit combos.
So this is really easy again. So the raspberries are just going to go into the pan straight away, and followed by the sugar.
Is it on? Is the hob on?
No, it's not.
There we go.
One of the things that
There we go.
because I'm Australian, so I moved here about 10 years ago.
And just some water as well. Just 50 ml of water just goes in there, and that's it.
But yeah, is that fruit tastes different here? And I didn't know what a raspberry really tasted like until I moved here and I tried the British raspberry, because they don't taste the same in Australia.
Really?
I mean, they're similar. Like you can tell it's a raspberry, but the flavour of them is really, really different. There are certain fruits and vegetables that in other countries are just not the same.
I do get that actually. Yeah, I do. I think that because I find that whenever I used to go to Greece, like the tomatoes would just taste like so much better.
More tomato than tomato. Yeah, I know what you mean.
They were just so fresh and beautiful, and like it just makes everything taste so much nicer, like their sauces and everything. Yeah, I think it's just the sun that like helps it grow. I don't know, but
I think so. Or it could be like the chemical composition of the soil, everything together. I have lots of debates with my husband about, well, not debates, he generally agrees with me eventually. But, sorry, hi Greg. I have like kind of strong opinions about tomatoes, because I feel like you can really taste the distinct difference between a high quality tomato.
Yeah,
and like
definitely. I'm exactly the same.
Smell, like they have a really lovely smell, and they're the real thing.
Yeah, it's like worth spending a bit more money on tomatoes, isn't it? Like I always feel like that as well.
Yeah, but we're friends now.
Yeah.
We understand each other.
Oh.
Cool.
So yeah, this is pretty much simmering away. I like to stir it every now and then, just to move the raspberries around, and also they just need sometimes a little bit of help just to crush down.
Okay.
But essentially, once it gets a little bit hotter, as you can see, it's starting to bubble away now, which is good. The syrup starts to look a little bit like jelly-like in a way. And it starts to become quite silky and shiny, so that's when you know it's done really.
Cool.
So
does it need to reduce down at all, or
it doesn't reduce too much. What happens is really all the raspberries, once they've kind of broken down and they don't really look like raspberries anymore, they look like a jam, then it's kind of there. But I like to give it says, I think on the instructions it says to give it around 10 minutes, and that's kind of at like a medium heat. Gentle simmer really again. But yeah, this is kind of going to be on its way. But again, to save time, I've made another one.
You guys didn't have faith in my cooking abilities.
It's just because it would take a while, if we were here waiting for everything. But yeah, essentially this is what you'll get. So it looks like it's not very much, but that's because what I've done here is once this is ready, you would push it through a sieve. And it goes, so you just put a sieve over a bowl, pour it in, and just gently like push it through. And that would then mean that you have a nice seedless sort of like jam syrupy kind of.
Nice. Is that just like a back of a spoon through the sieve?
Yeah, just gently pushing it through there. It would be absolutely fine. But I don't know if I can put that there for now. But yeah, the seeds will come out and everything. So that's really kind of what you're left with, which is good. But we're really only going to use that for the buttercream anyway. So yeah.
So does it have to cool before you mix it in with the buttercream?
Yeah.
Because I imagine it would melt it.
Yeah, definitely. So this needs to, that's again why I've made it in advance, because otherwise we sat here waiting for everything to cool, especially this as well, because I don't know if I mentioned this needs about 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of to cool down, because when it first comes off the hob, it's still very like wet.
It's really runny.
Yeah, it's very runny. So you want to just like leave it, and then after a while it starts to become it just thickens up, and that's when you want that like nice kind of spreadable this is going to go in the middle of our sponges. So I think we're ready to start assemble. Yeah, what I've got is a nice little turntable up here.
Oh, I see these on Instagram all the time.
They're so handy, actually. They're really good for preparing buttercream. Right, so we'll just pop that on the bottom, and I'll let you do this part. So we're gonna do like half and half.
Cool.
So just half spreading on there, and I'll just get you a little palette knife as well. We can use that. It's nice to use.
So I'm going to keep half of this mixture for the next
Yeah.
layer.
Yeah, and then because it's going to go half there, and then the next one will go on, and then half, and then we'll top it with our buttercream.
I met a really nice lady recently who, when I told her that I had the cat cafe, she was like, oh, and she was very excited, and she was like, do you bake? And I was like, oh, no, I just run the business. And she was very disappointed.
Oh, that should be the most exciting thing that you own a cat cafe, not that you bake. Like,
but I think she was a baker, and she was like dead excited that she had met somebody who bakes, and I disappointed her bitterly, but she was really sweet. But yeah, I think, because a lot of people don't know that we actually can't cook in Lady Dinah's, we're not allowed.
Oh.
So as part of our licensing, so we're the very first cat cafe in the country, which is a controversial statement, because there was actually somebody who ran a cat cafe out in Totnes before us, but they weren't a fully fledged hospitality service business.
Yeah.
So I do feel I'm still slightly correct in saying that, because they
you
were
are
a
a
bit more
cafe.
casual.
You're like the cafe.
Yeah, they were a bit
version.
more sort of like, they had it's a bit more community vibe. So they had tea and coffee and a tea urn, and she'd bring the cats from home. So it was a cat cafe, but it was not the same kind of beast as ours is. But yeah, as we were catering on site, we had some extra restrictions, and one of them was to absolutely minimise the amount of food handling that takes place in the cafe.
Yeah.
We couldn't cook anything, so we had
Yeah.
to bring everything in from outside. So I don't actually get to cook very often, because that, combined with the fact that I'm always working quite a lot, this is quite a treat to bake something.
Do you-
Isn't it?
Now look at you baking on TV
Yeah.
Look at me,
live.
I'm making it right on the internet. Hi, Mum. Cool.
So I like to just like, I know I'm just sort of like sharing tips, but I like to try and like, because if you feel like one of the sponges is like slightly high on one side, I like to try and look and then
Yeah.
even it up a little bit. So like, I'll try and put like the slightly, if it's slightly higher on one side, I'll put the slightly thinner side on it, and then vice versa. But that, so it's kind of like flat. But yeah, then the next sort of, you can put all the ganache on. I try and keep it just a little bit, not too close to the sides as well, just because when we are putting our buttercream on, sometimes the chocolate ganache can like get into the sponge.
Ruin it.
No, it's fine, but it's just if you didn't want it to interrupt the pink,
Of course.
then
You want a nice finish. It's all about that Instagram photo finish. So do you bake at home as well, or do you find
a
that
lot of people
working-
ask me this actually. Yeah, I do still bake at home, and I love to bake for like my friends and families, like birthdays and stuff. Because I generally do get asked a little bit for it, but I really do enjoy it as well. And I love to bake for like when I go to people's houses for dinner or something. I love to like bring something, So for me, because I know I can bake, I do that. But yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things it's still a hobby, even though I do it for my job. So it's like I'm quite lucky, because it's like I do actually genuinely enjoy it. So yeah.
Do you find it quite soothing?
Yeah, I personally first got into baking when I was living in London. I've always loved baking, but when I was living in London, yeah, that can be the last one. I found it quite stressful, as I told you earlier, but I used to bake at the weekends, and that was like my way to relax, because I just found it so therapeutic, because it's like, I don't know, you make something, and then you've got that like instant gratification at the end of it, where you're like, I've made something, it looks great, I'm really happy with it. And then even if it doesn't look great, you still feel good, because you've made something, it tastes good, you can share it with your friends.
You share it with people. That's a
And
nice
people
thing,
like
yeah.
that, so it's nice because you feel good, because you've made something.
I think there's a lot to be said for those like little feelings of achievement when you make something.
Definitely. Like you see loads of people who are like getting into like knitting and stuff now and things like
Yeah.
that, because it's like therapeutic and nice to do. It's like I feel like baking is like that. Right, so now we're nearly there. We've got this icing to do now. So I've put the butter in the bowl already, and this is going to be your bag 5 icing sugar. And I just need a wooden spoon. Here we go.
Oh, thank
So the butter is actually nice and soft at the moment, because it's yeah, thank you. It's I leave it at room temperature, because this time of year, especially when you're making things like buttercream, which is like quite hard to like whip up and everything, it's really good to have it at room temperature, because it makes it so much easier to mix. So yeah, I would pop the icing sugar in, and then we'll start with just 1 tablespoon of the syrup, because really you can add it gradually just to see like kind of what shade of like pink you want, because the more you add, the more it will actually turn a little bit of a darker pink. So I'll start with just 1. Little moth there.
This isn't for you. Get out of here, moth.
He won't go away. Right, so yeah, it's sort of just, it will all sort of slowly start to come together because it's quite soft. And as you can see, it's already starting to go a nice pink colour.
In terms of soothing activities, and I say this because there's close-up pictures being taken, and I'm very mindful that my arms are covered in bruises, and it probably looks really terrible. But I've taken up a new soothing hobby, which is the trapeze, which is the best. It is so much fun, but it does tend to yield a whole lot of bruises. So those of you watching at home, please don't worry about me. It's just me having some fun.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's such
Do you not have to be like quite physically, I mean you probably are, but quite physically fit to be able to do that? I would be so awful at that, I feel.
As long as you can get up on there, that's the first step. And then you build the strength as you go, really. I mean, it's the same with anything. The first time you do it, no one's good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just keep trying and you get better. And yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I find the thing that's beautiful about it is that you cannot think about anything else because you'll fall off.
Oh, yeah,
so
true.
if you're the kind of person who has a busy mind, your mind stops being busy real quick. So it's nice. It's really, really good.
Have you fallen at all? Or?
No, actually. I mean, I haven't been doing it for very long, but the instructor's very careful, so she looks out for me, makes sure I'm not falling, so she's good.
Oh, that sounds so much fun.
I think I've managed to build up some. Should I grab another spoon?
Let's I've got one here actually.
Or we can grab the ice thing you prepared earlier.
I actually haven't. I've tried to do this one.
Hey!
This is going to be the one we're going to use.
Excellent.
I'm just getting this back.
Pressure.
Because we like to use this guy again.
Now we do sell little miniature turntables on our website.
Oh,
I think.
cute.
You can buy. They're not quite as big as those, but they're still little miniature turntables. So just make icing really simple, and it's. I think it's one of the definitely and you put your plate or your board on top of that and spins around. So
it's quite good.
It's definitely a tool that everyone should have in their arsenal in baking, because you can make. It's just surprising how much better especially on the layer cakes that we do, how much better ice you can get on the outside when you spin around.
I have been fallen down the rabbit hole of watching Instagram videos of people icing cakes more times than I'll get to admit.
I do that all the time.
It's so beautiful. They just like
it's so therapeutic to watch, isn't it? I do find that. I don't think mine is going to look quite as beautiful as the ones on YouTube, but they are. Yeah.
I'm not stepping up to volunteer. I've seen what I'm up against. There's no way. It's
quite difficult, isn't it?
I'll practice when the camera's off.
So yeah, that's looking pretty good.
Cool.
I think we can start spreading it soon.
Okay.
But yeah, so essentially I just...
Oh, sorry, a bit longer.
That's okay. No, it's fine. It's like, it's habit. I'm just like doing it automatically. So yeah, what we're going to do is just dump a load on top. Just to start with, I like to put like quite a generous amount on top because really it's easier to spread it at the sides once you've got it on the top kind of thing. And I'm using like a small spatula here. I think it was
which are available on the Baked In website.
These ones aren't, I don't think.
Are they not?
No.
Well, they will be soon. I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah, we got those dudes. Yeah, we got those dudes. Yeah.
I don't think we did.
We do.
Oh, well, in that case, definitely get one, because I would say that I use this probably like at least once every single day. Like it's my most favourite tool of the kitchen. It's so handy.
It's an extension of your hand.
It's so good. It's so useful for everything, like smoothing anything. Right. So yeah, I like to get it like a little bit even on top like that, and then I'll just start to like these bits that have kind of like sloped around the edges. I'll just start to like squoosh them down. If that's a word. Yeah.
I use the term squoosh with reference to cats who like their faces rubbed.
Oh, that's such a nice image.
Do you love a face squish? I've adopted 2 of the cats from the cafe in my time, and one of them is Cecil, and he is a big time face squisher.
Oh,
he loves having his face squished.
I love to squish a cat's face as well.
Well, speaking of squish, did you meet you met Wookie, didn't you, on one of your visits?
I'm absolutely in love with Wookie.
Yeah.
Apart from my own 3 cats that I have, he's my favourite other cat.
He's like the Ryan Gosling of cats.
Yeah.
Like if you could cheat on your cat with one other cat, it would be Wookie.
He's just the cutest thing. Like he's also like so big, but I just love how like robust he is, and like
he was
gorgeous.
such a unit. Well, he is such a unit. He's still such a unit. I follow him on Instagram now, which is quite weird. Is like you have you have these cats that are in our lives for like 5 years. And then you sort of following them on Instagram later, like they're celebrities, and it's like it's cool. But
do you feel like hard letting them go sometimes, like your kind of cats, or do you feel like
I do and I don't?
Because you're happy they're going to like a good home.
Yeah, that's it. We get to pick where they go.
Yeah.
And there's house checks and there's all these other things that we do. So we don't sort of just send them anywhere. We send them to the best people for them. We also put in like a lot of time trying to pair the personalities. So if somebody says, "Oh, I just got a cat who cuddles me," and we've got a cat who's not very cuddly, we'll be like, "This is
that's not a good match for you."
But if someone wants a playful cat, we'll find them. We'll be like, "Yeah, this playful cat is a good match for you." So we try and match make them so that the human is happy and the cat is happy, because then it reduces the chance that they have to come back or anything. And because we're a cat cafe, we have that sort of luxury of time and space, whereas rescues sometimes they have a lot harder time of it because they're under a lot more pressure than we are. So we kind of get to take our time, which is nice. And I know Wookie's very happy. I know all the cats who've left us have gone on to be very happy. So it's bittersweet. I miss them, but I also feel it's like that saying, if you love something, set it free.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love them. I love all of the cats who have been with us and who are still with us. So
I don't know all the names. I'm not like a crazy super fan or anything. I know I did love.
There will be people who know all the names of names.
I know, that's what I mean. I want to be a crazy super fan. And that's why I feel I'm actually saying it more in like an ashamed way. Like I want to be. So I feel bad that I don't know the names. But the cat that's got really black eyes. I follow him on Instagram. What's that cat called? He's like black all over. And he's got
Victor?
Yeah, that's it. He's gorgeous.
He is something else. He's actually going to be available for adoption in the next
Don't
couple
tell
of
me
months.
that!
Because he's approaching his 5-year anniversary, and so is Lizzie. Lizzie is the cat who runs on the exercise wheel that everybody loves.
My goodness.
I think she's the most
I'm too
Instagrammed
excited.
cafe cat after Wookie, because she runs on this wheel for people. Like, you just have to cheer her on and be like, "Good girl," and she's like, "I am a good girl." Just like keeps running on the wheel.
I was so gutted when I saw I missed out on Wookie's adoption. I was like, I wanted to be that person.
There was a lot of
I can
applicants for that
imagine.
one.
Most loved cat.
But yeah,
cat cafe.
I think Victor's a close second in that regard.
Yeah, he is so gorgeous.
He's so velvety and gentle.
Yeah,
He's wonderful. So
it's lovely.
But
I could talk about cats all day. Actually,
No,
I'm so obsessed. So yeah, this is kind of a bit. I probably could spend a little bit more time on this if I wanted to, just because I'm a bit of a perfectionist with it. But it is essentially done.
I would eat it.
It's very warm in here today, so also that does affect the buttercream. It's a little bit soft. If you find that it's like quite warm in your house, you can put it in the fridge for like a few minutes, which I would probably do with this one. I put it in for like 10-15 minutes and it'd be nice and firm again. But then we're just going to finish it off really. So you can decorate it in any way you like, but I have kind of gone for like a kind of raspberry and like chocolate sprinkle alternation. I don't know whatever you want to do really.
But I'm going to try and do a cat face.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea.
Cat cake.
A cat head.
I love it.
It might take a while. Let's just we can chat about something.
Yeah, no, like how are we doing?
So my question, I think you might have answered it, but my question was going to be, Wookie sounds like the crowd favourite until he retired. So which cat is currently the crowd favourite?
Well, that's actually a tricky question, because there's a lot of top quality cats at my cafe. So Victor he wins a lot of hearts for being incredibly gentle and loving, but he sleeps more than most. In fact, I was telling you guys before that we have activity trackers on the cats because we're participating in this study to kind of see what is normal for a cat. And we do know who sleeps the most because it tells us, although all of them, every single cat is at a 90% plus time spent resting every day.
That's good though.
Which I think
that's
is
something to be
standard
proud
cat.
of though, because at least you know that they're getting their rest in. Even though they're kind of like at the cafe and being with loads of people all day and everything, they're still getting loads of rest, which is nice.
This is true. They do get the rest that they need. But yeah, so we've got Victor. We've also got Peter, who's a big, fluffy black and white cat. A lot of our cats are black and white. So I was going to say, when you said you don't know their names, honestly, they also all look really similar. Yeah. And if you didn't know them really well, it would be really hard to tell.
I think it was Victor, because I remember his name now from the Instagram.
He's such a
he's lovely.
but Peter loves to fling himself shamelessly at women. So, I mean, he's a big time favourite for that reason too. We've also got Rodney.
People talking about Donnie.
Donnie's my guy. He lives with me now. Donnie's a big ginger cat. He's ginger and white, so he's not quite as ginger as this guy here. But yeah, he was one of the original residents of the cafe, so I adopted him when he was with his mum, and I think he was about 5 weeks old, and his mum wasn't feeding him. So Moo, his mum, actually lived with us as well. We had the whole family at the beginning. So I raised him on a bottle, little Donnie. I raised all of those guys with bottles. And also when they came to us, they were quite ill. So they had cat flu and they weren't very well at all. And you'd be surprised just how much diarrhea 6 kittens can produce. Oh my God, extraordinary. So I really had my work cut out for me because I was looking after those guys and starting a business at the same time. But from day one, Donnie was really attached to my then boyfriend, now husband. And then when we moved into the cafe, he decided that I was the surrogate Greg. So every time I'd walk in, he would be there. He'd chase me around the cafe. He'd shout at me all the time. So when it was time for him to retire, it was fairly unanimously agreed that he'd have to come home with me. And now I get to go home and he shouts at me, so that's nice. He's always shouting at me.
This is quite a masterpiece of a cat cake.
I know, I feel like
but we are starting to run out of time. We know there's some mind reading we need to do. So
I'm just going to...
we just keep going, but we're going to have to...
imagine.
We're going to have to move on to the next exciting segment.
So I'll just bring out the one that I made earlier.
That looks amazing. They both look amazing. Very much.
Well, I mean, I know which one I'd like to show.
It's not a competition. But no, this is what it would look like when it's all done, hopefully.
This is what it looks like if you let your 5-year-old do it. So, there you go.
No, I
Cool.
love it.
That looks amazing.
It's nice because you put your own personal stamp on it.
Awesome.
Maybe he can...
That's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm amazed that we managed to do that in such a kind of quick time. I know it's probably doesn't seem that quick, but
So yeah,
cut all the steps
Strong
down.
preparation
Yeah.
skills. Well done.
fantastic. Thank you. So we're going to jump in, Patrick, and do the quiz now. I thought it was probably worth mentioning, some of you might have noticed the cats have been very still, and we're a food production environment, we're not allowed cats in the building. So these aren't actually real cats. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but they're cutouts. So don't worry, we don't have cats in the baked-in building.
And the graduate isn't really scared about his future. He's just a cutout. He's fine.
Right, so over to Patrick.
Cool. Out of the oven really quickly because they are.
Right, I'm going to have a fortifying drink.
Please,
before
go for it.
the test begins.
So this is pretty serious. We're going to be testing your cat knowledge,
Yep.
which
Okay.
I'm assuming is pretty top notch.
Well, I hope so, but I will find out. We're going to find out.
I don't want you to have any pressure. I mean, the last thing I want is for your customers to think you're a fraud, you don't know anything about cats at all. That's what I don't want that to happen.
You don't want to plant the idea in their head. You don't even want them to think that it might be possible.
So what we're going to do, I don't know if you've seen our little quiz before, but essentially we make a mug brownie. Have you made a mug brownie before?
I have not.
Well, I'm going to let you make this from start to finish. I trust you to make this.
Oh, well, I've leveled up.
And once you make it, it's going to take 60 seconds in the microwave.
Cool.
And during that 60 seconds, I'm going to ask you cat-related questions.
All right.
Now, some of them might be serious general knowledge cat questions. Some of them might be a little bit out there.
Okay.
Answer the best you can as quick as you can.
Yes.
If you don't know one, pass, because you're going to be winning prizes for our lucky competition winner.
Okay.
So every answer you get right, they will be getting a mug brownie, okay? So think about that person.
Stakes are high.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
Stakes
Yes,
are high.
exactly. So first of all, you need a mug. Have we got a mug? Yep. So you're going to take 1 tablespoon of butter.
Do I? Yep.
Yep,
Measure
just
it
with this
out.
guy, yeah.
I almost did exactly. I was Gemma's mum.
Maybe winged it or wanged it, I don't know.
Is it winged or
Was it a
wanged?
wing or a wang?
What am I doing? Just going rogue from the beginning.
Then you're going to tip in the mug brownie mix.
Cool.
So these are really key. So this is the same ingredients that we use in one of our cakes, but in a mix, essentially. Just tip it in, and you're going to stir it up with 2 tablespoons of butter, and then you put it in the microwave. Sorry, of milk,
Milk.
sorry. A little test. And it goes in
You
the microwave. So this is similar to what we're going to provide in our mug baking club, this one. So if any of you guys out there who haven't tried a mug cake, you have to try one. They're awesome, and they're kind of great for everyone. Great for a quick fix if you're really hungry, you're in the office doing a really posh coffee break. But for me, I love them because they're the perfect way into baking. If you've got a young baker who's not quite ready for the baking club, maybe they're 3 years old, then this is the way to go, because they can do the baking club, but sometimes I'd say really young children might find too much of a challenge, or they get distracted quickly, or they might love doing the baking club and they want another little activity in between and wait for the next box. So this is the perfect step into cooking, because you're
mixing ingredients, like applying heat, and then you instantly get like amazing result.
And I
at the
imagine
end of
it's
it.
also safer for little kids, you know. They
Exactly.
Don't have
They can get involved in like the whole process. Cool. So I'm going to whack that in the microwave.
Do you want me to do it?
So, yeah, if you could
Thanks.
ding
60
it for me.
seconds,
Yeah,
yeah.
go for it.
Okay, the time
All
is
right.
going to start soon.
Do we need to stand somewhere specific
Yeah,
for
we're
the
going to
quiz?
start the same.
Okay.
So when?
So Joe is going to count out the mug brownies. He's going to stack them up in front of you.
Oh, okay.
So my advice to you would be to pass. Don't be proud.
Don't be
If you don't know the
proud.
answer, don't be proud.
I'm a very proud person.
Think about the competition winner
Okay.
and pass. Okay, right.
Right.
So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Who wrote the musical Cats?
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Why do cats rub up against you?
They transfer their scent onto you.
They're marking their property. I'll give you that. Yeah. What's better, 5 dogs or 3 cats?
In what context? Pass.
So you passed. What's the matter? Cat got your
Tongue.
tongue. Good. Which is the biggest of the big cats?
Ooh. Tigers.
Correct. Which famous cartoon cat's favourite food is lasagna?
Garfield.
Correct. Which breed of cat has no tail?
Manx.
Correct. What is a female cat known as?
Queen.
Correct. What type of cat describes a corrupt, rich political donor?
That cat.
Nice. What is a group of cats called?
A clouder.
The Cat in the Hat knows a lot about
Oh god, pass. I can't believe I've got that.
that. Grin like a...
Cheshire cat.
In ancient Egypt, what part of people's body did they shave when their cat died?
Eyebrows.
Correct. We made a terrible... Wow. We made a terrible mistake. We made a terrible mistake.
one I-
We're going to have to shut the business down. We're gonna wait for
11.
brownies.
And then what I typed down on was the word that.
Yeah. Did you got them all right apart? Yeah, that's incredible.
What was the one that?
That
Oh,
was
3 dogs, 3 cats.
Three cats are better than
Yeah, why did you pass? That was just
3
like...
cats are better than
I don't know. I know you like dogs. I don't know.
All people.
I choked.
Oh, right. Well, that's by far the biggest score, I think, isn't it?
No, it was incredible.
Yay.
So there you go.
Surprise.
You've won a lot of mug brownies, and you've shown that you are the real deal when it
Yeah.
comes to cats.
You know, I was honestly surprised I knew about the eyebrows. It just came out.
There were some strange answers in the office when I asked people that one. Some very strange answers. Jana, do you want to share what your answer was? The people you thought they shaved?
I don't think we do want to share that.
It was strange. It was very strange.
Let's not go down that road.
Cool. So now I'm in. I feel like I put you under pressure now. Now I wish I hadn't, because now I'm feeling a little bit. I'm intrigued, a little bit worried that you're going to read my mind, and then people are going to know the weird stuff in my mind. Like I'm sort of a bit worried about.
They'll just know what you like and don't like.
Okay.
So
What we forgot?
We've got
We
to-
forgot about the competition.
Whoa!
Someone
we
needs
did.
to win the competition.
That's a terrible thing to forget about. Okay.
There we go.
I was so blown away by how many I was trying to like. I almost don't want to give them away now. So many that I was trying to like avoid the competition. But okay, right. This question is for the audience. So the rules are: I ask the question. It's the first answer that we see pop up on our feed. Now it might be a bit annoying because you might answer and on your feed it might come up first and you think you won, but I don't know. The internet's a strange place. Whatever answer comes up on our feed first will be announced, and that'll be the winner, and they'll win all those. Mug brownies and some more mug brownies. We're gonna like,
I think the competition prize is now nearly £100 value.
and the awesome. If you weren't here at the start, the one's donating or for the prize tea for 2 at the Cat Cafe.
Yes.
And if you just joined us, you're in a cat cafe.
Yes.
And it's awesome. And it gets really amazing reviews. Some of my friends have been there, and they said they absolutely loved it. It's incredible. So I'm sure whoever wins their prize, they can either go themselves. If they live in Scotland, they can donate to a friend to go. So it's a lovely prize. Anyway, the question is: name Phoebe's song about a cat in Friends. What is the name of Phoebe's song in Friends that is about a cat? Should be an easy one, especially for millennials born in the 80s, grew up on Friends. It should be an easy one.
Do you know, I grew up and I didn't ever watch Friends. So I do know this one.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Because it's
Don't
about cats.
tell people that.
But yeah, I don't know. I have watched like 1 or 2 episodes. I watched
So
X-Files. I was
X-Files
yeah.
is also awesome, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who hasn't watched Friends. It's pretty weird. Even if you don't love it, you kind of like, you just bombarded
Just
with
sort
it.
of missed it somehow, which is weird. Like I don't know how I did
Too
that.
busy with the cats.
Yeah, I don't know. Too busy.
So we are delayed by 20 seconds or
20
so
seconds.
on the Facebook Live. So we're still waiting for an answer to come through. We haven't seen an answer yet. Nothing coming through yet on the live. Anyone got an answer to the question?
Tell me more about the Cat Cafe. So,
Yeah, cool.
like, when did you start it, and more importantly, like, why did you start it?
Well, so I started Lady Dinah's I actually started everything in October 2012. We didn't actually open until 2014, but that's when I wrote the business plan. We prepared a crowdfunding video, and then we launched the crowdfunding in December 2012, and then it finished in 2013. It took me a year to sort everything out in terms of my visa, finding a property, getting it all set up. And yeah, so we opened March the 1st, 2014. We've been open now 5 years and a couple of months. We have rehomed, I think, something like 27 cats in that time. So we do change the population sometimes, or in some cases people leave cats with us and then we find them new homes. So yeah, we've had like a few different cats come and stay with us in that time. We've had a lot of people.
Newsflash. For
Yes,
some
ma'am.
reason the feed was very delayed, but we do have a winner.
Hey.
The first person that's come through to us is...
Kitty Louise Pie!
Well done, Katie. Congratulations.
Enjoy the brownies, Katie.
Well done.
That's a lot of mug
We'll get in
brownies.
touch. We'll get in touch by direct message and arrange all that for you.
Did anyone think you were crazy? Did anyone, like, when you
Yes.
presented the business plan, be like, "That's mental. Why would you do that?"
Literally everybody.
Or
I
did
remember-
anyone not think you were crazy? Did anyone be like, "That's an amazing idea"? Anyone who, like, at the start, who really supported you and said, "You know what, just go for it"? No one.
No, I think everybody had reservations. So I remember calling the food standard agency just like some random Thursday morning. I was like, "Hi there, are there any rules? Because I've looked at legislation, I don't see any." And this lady was like, "What? I'm going to call you back." That was kind of how that conversation went. And she was like, "Why would you do this?" But yeah, I mean, I think it just, because it was such an odd idea, it took a lot of people like a bit of time to feel like okay with it. But friends and family, of course, like the first ones to rally. The thing that was a major turning point for the idea, so I launched the crowdfunding video at the end of the year, so around the festive season. So if you look at things on like Facebook and social media, they say everybody's online at this time of year. That's the time to do stuff. But the thing is, everybody's on time at that time of year, online at that time of year to post pictures of their turkey. They do not want to see anything about your Cat Cafe crowdfunding video, so nobody was interested, and I was mortified. I was just like spending Christmas with my husband's family, like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. No,
But you did it,
horrible.
and I think the world's a better place for
Well,
having a cat cafe.
what the turning point was one guy from Digital Spy tweeted about it, and then it just went like 3 days later, and it was crazy. So yeah,
Awesome.
Sometimes it just takes that one moment and that one chance encounter for somebody to do something that's brilliant.
So I feel like my tactic of like delaying you, so that I have to spend less time with a pair of cat ears on my head. I think that's probably over now. I think I should probably.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do this. So yeah, I couldn't bring a cat, obviously, because it's a kitchen, and I think the graduate would get upset. He seems nervous. So I brought the option for you to be the cat for the evening. So I've got these brainwave-controlled cat ears, which my friend James kindly has lent to me. And what they do, so they go on this way. I'll let you fit it, because I'm quite a bit shorter than you, so it wouldn't work out well. So you should have the sensor on your forehead there. Yep. And there's also the one that clips on your ear. Okay, so I'll turn it on.
It doesn't really hurt. Whoever made this product doesn't hurt.
But yeah, so what they do is first they're going to calibrate. So they do a little bit of twitching until they've read his mind and got the feel of it.
Is that a cat like that?
Yeah, it's cute. It's
Yeah, is that
kawaii.
good?
Yeah. So yeah, these are apparently picking up signals from your brain. It's
serious.
based on, what is this? Has a word for it. Neurosky.
Waves.
Neurowaves. Science.
It's based on science.
It's based on science.
So much science in a box.
You bring in your science. So apparently, I don't know if this is visible, but these are the moods it will express on behalf of you. So it's still calibrating. So what it does when it first sets up is like one ear goes and then the other ear goes. And the idea is,
serious, Gemma.
if he's relaxed, the ears can droop.
It's so funny.
So am I ready to start relaxing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's time.
So I don't know whether I can relax fully being on live TV. I shall try.
Maybe you'd like just Breathe.
How do you know
A
if it's
man
relaxing?
videoing me, I've got ears in my head, I am relaxed.
How do you know if
They
you
say-
are relaxed? Like, what do they do?
They should tilt a little bit down.
So they should go, if I'm in high relaxation mode, my ears will droop down
Do you know-
slowly.
When you started reading, they did go up again. Like
If I am focused or relaxed, my ears will perk up and droop down.
They
If
look-
I'm in
you
high
look quite alert
focus,
at the moment.
if I'm in
Yeah.
high focus, my ears will perk up quickly. And if I'm high interest, ears will perk up,
and wiggle.
and wiggle.
They're doing it now.
So if I'm happy, then I'm assuming they should be pointy and wiggling. If I'm like relaxed, they should be drooping.
They look really like, they don't look straight at all. They look like they're going.
Oh Jesus! They perked up when I looked at you, Gemma. Or maybe I don't know.
We might have to give up on the relaxation side.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
just
think
not
we're
No,
happening.
I can
You're
relax.
not
I can relax.
relaxed.
I can relax.
Well, maybe we should talk about something else and just see
Yeah.
if like talking about something relaxing. Like, are you going on a
Oh.
holiday?
No, I've been on holiday, and it wasn't relaxing. It was amazing. It was more like an Olympic swim camp with my 3-year-old of like swimming every single day, 3 or 4 times a day.
Was that like a centre part?
Tim was losing it.
And no, my lovely in-laws have a lovely place in France.
Oh, nice.
So it was
Losing
my
all the
favourite
time.
holiday was a free holiday.
Nice.
Um,
Even better.
And yeah, I got the sun lounges out on the first day, and then I put them away on the last day, and I realised I hadn't sat them at all. They've just been like Olympic swim
No.
camp.
The ears
so-
just aren't relaxing.
I really want to get a pair of these though. I think they're great.
Maybe
Do you
what I
want
would,
to try?
so what I would like to see, I would like to.
Pricey?
I think so. Can I just quickly? I would like to
Yeah,
taste your
try it.
cake.
Okay,
It's my
yeah.
excuse to have some cake.
Have some cake and
but,
see what happens.
I want to see what happens
your
to my
ears.
whether I makes me relax in some cake, or whether I
It's a good
focus
question.
and it perks up my high interest, as it says.
Yeah, are you relaxed by cake or excited by cake? Because you were saying you're soothed by cake. Maybe we should have put them on while you were baking.
Yeah, that would
I
have
mean,
been
they're pretty. Obviously, these are like silly. Like no one needs Neurowave cat ears, but I guess they're quite cool. I guess like when people first invented the airplane, there were some like crazy ass airplanes that were complete nonsense, weren't they? And they were like the start. And hopefully something good will come out of this. I'm sure there are some like really genuinely good uses, whether it is working with people with disabilities or just like amazing AI to be able to like be more productive, and you can be like just sort of typing, you can be thinking and whatever. I'm sure there's like those are really cool uses, but right now they're ridiculous.
Right now, yeah.
They're
I
ridiculous.
think that's sort of how they go. Is like they'll start off and there's just that. There's
Okay.
like one thing it detects and one thing it does, and it has a basic response like wiggling ears. But then they can iterate on it and develop it
So
further.
I'm gonna try and like not talk and pretend I'm not live and just like relax and see if I
Find
can.
your inner cake piece.
I think we're going to need to move
You're
on
just
because this is
too
getting
high
fairly
alert.
weird. So
Too high alert. You look like a mad scientist or something.
Did they?
I don't know what's going on.
Did they
I'm
perk
just
up?
gonna. I'm glossing over this now. I'm glossing over this. So,
This is
I
quality
think
TV.
we're coming to the end of the hour, and anyone that's bared with us to this point, congratulations. We do always say that we're going to kind of show you something new. Oh no, what have I done?
Oh, no wonder he was so nervous.
Whoops.
the whole time.
We said we're going to show you something new that's coming up, a little sneak peek on something that's going on at Baked In. I'm sure a lot of our audience like cake sprinkles. We love sprinkles, and we've been working on a range of sprinkles that we're going to sell on the website. They're not ready quite yet, and there's a really, really exciting use of them that's coming up, and we'll be able to tell. We're going to announce that next month's Facebook Live. But we're launching a range of sprinkles. We've got a few different colours. They're a little bit different to the other sprinkles you can get out there because they're metallic. They're pearlescent. We've got yellow, green, red. They're all natural colours. We've got white, yellow, and we also have a matte rainbow mix as well. They're going to come in little pots. So these are kind of little prototypes at the moment. I don't know if we've got the little zoomy camera. We can have a look. But they're really, really nice sprinkles. They're in 70-gram pots. You can kind of zoom in and kind of see the ones we've got in there. More than enough to decorate a cake. I'll chuck them in a little thing so you can see. You get loads of them. We got the nonpareils. We've got sugar strands. They've got big 8mm decorating pearls and little 4mm ones as well. So little sneak peek. They won't be live on the website yet. If you're on our mailing list, you'll be the first to know, and we'll post it in the Facebook group as well. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit about what's coming up at Baked In. So
eyes peeled for those. So,
Not doing anything?
She's relaxed.
Gemma is more relaxed. If you want to come in the shop, Gemma. Oh no, you're not anymore.
Oh.
You
Well,
were.
now you're on TV, don't you?
We're relaxed. So,
Am I relaxed now?
no, still not.
High
Still not.
perking interest.
Still not. So I'm going to remind you, while that's still going on, I'm going to remind you of the offer that we've got. So the mug baking subscription launched today. Go to bakedin.co.uk/mug baking club. And it's also linked from the main menu in the from bakedin.co.uk. It's £6 a month, including delivery. You get your first box for £1 if you use Mug Live discount code. Now that's only valid until midnight on Wednesday the 17th. So if you're not watching live, you've only got until midnight Wednesday the 17th to use that code. And then it's £6 for the first box, or you can get a 3-month one for 17, 6 months for 32, or 12 months for £60, and that brings it down to £5 a box if you go for the 12-month option. So 2 portions of mug cake mix with toppers, or something to mix up inside it depending on the recipe. And there'll be biscuity versions, there'll be cakey versions, seasonal ones. It's going to be loads of fun. We're super excited about this.
Did you say when the offer lasts until?
The offer lasts until Wednesday the 17th at midnight. So you've got, if you're not watching it live, you've got until then to use it. If you are watching it live, you've got it until midnight tomorrow evening to use that code. I think that's it. There's the Baking Club offer. So thanks to Lauren for joining us and being a great sport, telling us all about the cats, making the bake. We'll give you this one to take home, so you can try it and eat it at your leisure without, maybe with the cat's ears on. I don't know. If you want to join the Baking Club, first box to $2.99. Use the code Facebook Live 299. And that'll get your first box to $2.99. Have we got any questions? Has any questions come in from the audience for us? We haven't had a chance to answer. I know the feed's been a bit dodgy tonight. We've had a few mic issues, so sorry if we've been a bit quiet. Something we'll try and sort out for next time. But we found the comments coming through the feed have come through in really weird orders as well. So we did our best with the competition. If you've got any questions, then fire them over. What was the verdict on cats and dogs? Was there a overwhelming 50-50? So, okay, 50-50. I thought it would be cats, it was 50-50.
Shall I have the deciding vote?
No. So, okay, on that note, thanks Lauren. Thanks to Gemma for showing that recipe. It's certainly one of my favourites. Hopefully those of you that have got the recipe at home enjoy making it, and it impresses a few people.
It's a big one for summer, isn't it?
If you haven't bought it, we do have a few left in stock. We've only got very limited stock, so we only make a few extras. I think they'll be available tomorrow on the website. So they'll be tomorrow on the website. Don't buy the bake of the month tonight because it'll be last month's bake. But if you buy the bake of the month tomorrow morning, it will be this one. So on that note, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks.
Waving.
Bye.